Hello, baseball fans. Hope everybody's doing awesome out there and their New Year's off to a great start. Everybody's safe. I know I sound like a broken record, but if you haven't hit subscribe, please do so. I'm a brand new YouTuber, so you hitting subscribe is the best way you can support me and help me grow, and I'm grateful for everybody who does. So, there's been some rumors out there, and they're getting to a boiling point now soon. I had to take a little bit to look at it, and I do think it's legitimate, so let's get into it. And I'm talking about no other than Trevor Story, shortstop for the Colorado Rockies. Now, a little bit about Story, if you don't know. He's going to be 28 years old going into next season. And next season is his last year of team control, and he's gearing up for a big payday next offseason. And why do I say big payday? Well, he is an awesome player. He's a top 10 player for WAR over the last couple seasons, and he's been number one player for WAR in his position, which is shortstop. So that's extremely rare. And what am I talking about here? Let's look at his numbers. In 2020, he had an average of 289 with 11 home runs and 2.4 WAR. But if you look at 2019, it's a more accurate portrayal of who Trevor Story is. He had an average of 294, 35 home runs, 6.1 WAR. 2018, same story with Story. 291 average, 37 dingers, an impressive 5.6 WAR. So this is the type of player who can not only save you runs with his defensive ability, but he has a type of bat that can make you runs as well. That's what makes him a really rare shortstop and on the level of Francisco Lindor. And he's going to get traded probably before the season starts. And why is he going to get traded? Well, three big reasons for Colorado. First one's Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado wants out. He is frustrated with the Rockies. The Rockies are actively trying to shop him right now. If he doesn't get traded before the season starts, he will be traded before the all-star break. And that's a big dent to Colorado. Second to that is Trevor Story himself. He's going to be a free agent next season. With his type of production and stats that we just showed you, he's going to demand a $200 million plus contract easily. And that's just out of Colorado's pockets. So they know that this is their last year with him, no matter what happens. And then finally, you couple those two facts together with what the other teams have done in the National League. Colorado just isn't in a position to compete with teams like the Mets, the Braves, the Padres, or the Dodgers. So they know it's time for a complete rebuild, and that's why Trevor Story is going to get traded. Now, who are the teams that could afford Trevor Story? And what I mean by afford, have the type of prospects and the position open to absorb him. Well, I think there's really three teams out there that could be of interest. The first one are my Blue Jays. And Blue Jays just have to be included in this talk. They were runners up for Lindor, so it's obvious they're looking at possibly adding a shortstop, even though I don't agree with that because we do have Bo. And I'm not thrilled on anybody coming over for a one-year rental, but the Blue Jays should be included in this conversation. Secondly, so should the Los Angeles Angels. Angels are a little bit of a stronger possibility in Toronto. They have the money and the budget to extend somebody like Trevor Story. They have a deficit at shortstop, and maybe he's the piece that finally gets this team into the postseason. Something that frustrates me all the time because the Angels are a great team, so I just don't know what's clicking there. But finally, where is Trevor Story going to end up? Well, I think it's going to be the New York Yankees. And I know that's going to make every Blue Jays fan out there shiver, but I think it's going to happen. And why? I think they're going to move on from DJ LeMahieu, actually, which I think is surprising. It appears that they're $25 million apart, and they could actually retain Trevor Story. He's only going to make $18 million next season. So that leaves them room to make an additional signing for somebody like Tanaka or Jake Odorizzi to help fill out their rotation. On top of that, they get a huge bat and somebody to really solidify their infield. So it's a win-win for the Yankees. Really what's holding this up are the prospects that Colorado wants in return. I firmly believe that Colorado wants Garcia, one of the top pitchers for the New York Yankees, and I don't think the Yankees want to give them up, especially how thin their rotation is to begin with. So it's going to come down to Andujar, pardon me for butchering that name, and Ottavino. Now, a little bit about them. Andujar had some surgery problems, so that's why they're going to tack on Ottavino onto that. And both of these are solid prospects coming out of New York two prospects that can really help the Colorado organization. So book it. Trevor Story's going to the Yankees next season, and that's going to be their sort of rebound punch to the Mets for getting Lindor, and that's going to make them a beast in the American League. For the Yankees to be successful, though, they can have as much offense as they want, but they really need to get some pitching. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens. But hey, let me know if I'm wrong here on this ramble. Let me know if you think Trevor Story's going to get traded at all, what team you think he's going to end up to, where do you think DJ is going to end up in all of this? And finally, I hope everybody stays safe. Hit subscribe if you haven't, and we'll talk soon. Take care.